Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
Welcome to Your Health, Your Wealth with Desiree and Chuck on Bobo 89.1 FM. Thank you for listening. Please stay with us for the next hour while we share health tips and talk with our special guest, Dr. Rajnesh Kumar of Total Health, who will be discussing the health topic which is relevant to all of us. Desiree will tell us more about our special guest in just a few moments.
Welcome, everyone, to Your Health, Your Wealth, brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your Health, Your Wealth airs every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. right here on 89.1 FM Bobo Radio. So remember to tune in each week and tell a friend. You can also catch the shows you missed on YouTube on the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life channel. So don't forget to subscribe.
I hope everyone enjoyed their Valentine's Day yesterday, whether you did it with that special someone or with friends, or you just decided to do your own Valentine and treat yourself to some wine, chocolates, and roses. I hope you enjoyed your evening. What about you, Desiree?
Anyway, Valentine's is over, but we are still in the month of February and it's still Heart Month. So today, we'll be talking about high blood pressure. I'm sure everyone listening either knows someone living with hypertension or high blood pressure.
That's so true, Des. And sadly, too many people don't take it serious enough. Maybe they aren't making the connection between high blood pressure and heart health.
Many people don't realize that high blood pressure can damage your blood vessels, which can decrease how much oxygen and blood flows to your heart, resulting in heart disease.
And heart disease is no laughing matter. Today, our wellness coach, Lady K, is going to share information to help all of us understand more about high blood pressure.
If you don't know who Lady K is, then you're about to find out. Her podcast, Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, is sponsored by the BAF Global Group and can be found on YouTube. Her episodes are released weekly on the BAF Facebook page as well. Let's listen in as she talks about understanding hypertension or high blood pressure.
Today on Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, Lady K, your wellness coach, helps us to understand all about our blood pressure.
Some people simply say they have pressure, but we all know what that means. They're talking about having hypertension, or more commonly called high blood pressure. And when it comes to this particular disease, it's all about the numbers. Yes, numbers. The key to understanding hypertension is understanding the meanings of the diastolic and the systolic numbers, or what we refer to as the top and the bottom numbers when your blood pressure reading is being taken. Too often we're given the reading and we're told it's too high or it's too low, but how many of us truly understand what those numbers mean? What causes our blood pressure to run high or low? How do we strike a balance? Today I want to tackle those three things, but before I do, please subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already done so, share this with a friend. Oh, and don't forget, hit and like that notification bell so you'll know when we have new episodes posted. Well, let's get into it. When your heart beats, it creates pressure to push blood through your arteries, your veins, and your smaller blood vessels called capillaries. There are two types of pressure. The systolic pressure happens when the blood is being pumped out of the heart. The diastolic pressure is created when the heart rests between beats. These two pressures are measured in millimeters of mercury and are represented by the numbers on your blood pressure reading. For example, in a blood pressure reading of 120/70, the top number represents the systolic pressure, while the bottom number is the diastolic pressure. A blood pressure reading of between 90/60 to 120/80 is considered normal for most healthy people. The higher those numbers are, the more you're at risk for having full-blown hypertension. The longer those numbers stay elevated, the more at risk you are to develop heart disease, as well as damage to your brain, your kidneys, and even eyes. On the other hand, very low blood pressure can also be dangerous, as the body's organs may receive inadequate blood flow that leads to strokes, heart attack, shock, and even kidney failure. So you see, it really is all about balancing those numbers. There are many factors that can cause high blood pressure. The most common are linked to a diet that's high in salt, fat, and or cholesterol. It can also be caused by stress, being overweight, lack of physical activity, smoking, or a lack of potassium in your diet, aging, and even your medications. It can sometimes be hereditary, which is passed down to you in your family history. Sometimes, try as you may, you can't beat that family history of hypertension. If your parents had high blood pressure, you have a chance of developing it as well, despite your best efforts. So striking a balance is essential in maintaining your blood pressure. A healthy diet high in fruits and vegetables and low in red meats, salt, and preservatives is a good way to start staying within the range. Some foods are natural diuretics, meaning they take excess water and salt away from your body by making you urinate more often. Garlic, chocho, also known as Christophine or chayote squash, cinnamon, parsley, and Jamaican sorrel or hibiscus are all used by natural practitioners to maintain healthy blood pressure levels. But be sure to ask your doctor before trying home remedies. Some herbs and spices can interact negatively with prescription and over-the-counter drugs. And of course, as with every other condition, managing stress and frequent exercise are part of an overall healthy lifestyle that can in turn keep your blood pressure in check.
Be Well, Be Healthy for Life is brought to you by BAF Global Group. Remember, always consult your doctor before starting any new health and wellness regimen. BAF Global Group offers life, health, and general insurance plus a full suite of financial solutions in the Bahamas, life insurance in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and affordable individual and group health insurance in the Cayman Islands. Visit us at mybafsolutions.com.
Thank you, Lady K. That was super informative. And now I'll hand it over to Des to introduce our special guest.
Our guest today is Dr. Rajnesh Kumar, a member of the Total Health team right here on the island. We'd like to take the time to say thank you to Dr. Kumar and the Total Health team for agreeing to come in this morning and share valuable information on this disease that affects such large swaths of our population here in the Cayman Islands. Dr. Kumar, welcome to Your Health, Your Wealth.
Good morning, team, and good morning, ma'am, too. I'm thankful for the team for calling me here for giving my valuable advice on the respective topic of hypertension. Thanks again.
So this idea of hypertension, give it to us in kind of a broader view, because the Caribbean as a whole,
Yes.
hypertension, that word has so much connotations.
Yeah.
Give it to us as what it's medically broken down, and then relate it to us as I would say non-medical people.
Yeah, you're right, sir. So what happens, first of all, to understand hypertension, before that, you should know what is blood pressure, because blood pressure is the thing which is when elevated, this is called hypertension. So blood pressure is the pressure applied by the blood over the wall of the arteries. This is responsible for the blood pressure. Blood pressures are of two types. One is systolic blood pressure and the diastolic blood pressure. The respective levels above which we declare a patient to be hypertensive is 140 millimeters of mercury systolic blood pressure and 90 millimeters of mercury diastolic blood pressure. So this definition is basically acceptable, which is given by JNC 8, the Joint National Committee. And this is most of the part of the world follow this thing. Regarding the Caribbean population, this is one of the races, I can say, or the reasons in which they are highly prone for blood pressure disease because of their genetics and the environmental factors. So overall, blood pressure can be divided into primary blood pressure, that is primary hypertension, and the secondary hypertension. So primary hypertension is roughly constitute 90% of the all hypertensions. And since I said in the beginning that because of the environmental factors and the genetic factors related with the Caribbean population, they are highly prone for primary hypertension. Secondary hypertension are roughly 10% of the all causes of this. Secondary hypertension means there is a definitive reason for the hypertension, like some kidney disease, liver disease, heart disease, etc. While in primary hypertension, there is no specific reason. That's why we consider that the reason is probably environmental or the genetic one. So other reason, the predisposing factors for hypertension are overweight, which is again a problem in the Caribbean population. Then the second is lifestyle disorders, like they are less of working, they are gaining weight, inadequate lifestyle, smoking, alcohols, and non-vegetarian food, especially the bigger animals like beef and goat, etc. So these all things in combination make the Caribbean population prone for hypertension.
Right. And with that being said, the idea of changing your lifestyle, and mostly eating,
Yes, obviously.
of course,
And drinking.
and drinking. Two things that's very synonymous with our region. Lowering that can help lower your hypertension, your ability to be hypertensive. Would that be a correct saying in that way?
So you correctly said the statement. Just I want to correct the term hypertension. Just replace it with the blood pressure.
Okay.
Okay. So lowering the blood pressure can be done. Hypertension is just a medical definition.
Oh,
140
okay.
by 90, above that is called hypertension. But actually, we are talking about blood pressure.
Okay. So these mitigating factors of a region, once we kind of lower them, and even some cases with the drinking, you eliminate, because we have to eat, but we can eat better, wiser choices and things of that nature. That will help us maintain a better blood pressure level.
Yes. So two of the factors which can strongly attribute for the betterment of the blood pressure control is, as you said, the diet, and second is exercise, which is strongly recommended. So anybody who does roughly around 150 minutes per week of normal exercise or moderate exercise or 75 minutes of rigorous exercise is recommended for control of blood pressure. Plus, regarding the diet means in diet there are three components. First is improve the quality of diet, decrease the carbs, decrease the fats, roughly have ideal diet. Second is decrease the salt content. That is, the overall salt content in your diet for a hypertensive patient should not cross 2.5 grams in a day. And third is quit smoking, decrease alcohol. So now the question arises, which most of the people ask me, that what is the limit of the alcohol? You didn't ask me to stop. You said to decrease it. So the recommended level for alcohol for females is unfortunately only 1 drink per day, and for males is 2 drinks per day. Above that, controlling hypertension, it becomes a little bit difficult.
The alcohol for our region,
Yes.
but the salt is a different. So I think the amount that you said, literally, I've seen people use that for one sitting of one meal. So salt is very synonymous with our region. Everything is either extra salty or needs more salt.
Yes.
So how can we? Are there some things that we can do to help change that?
Yes. So when we say salt, we are not bothered exactly about the salt. We are bothered about the sodium. Okay. So there are lots of different kinds of salts even available in the market and in this region too. There is something called rock salt or the sea salt. They are low low sodium containing salts. These salts are fortified in the factories to make them more of sodium containing. Okay. So what you can do, when I say 2.5 grams, basically I'm talking about just to decrease the sodium content. What you can do, what I expect my patients to do, that don't take extra salt. Means whatever amount you are using in your diet, that is fine in your regular meals. Don't take extra salt means no salty drinks, no outside foods which are very salty, like these fried chickens and all. Okay, coated salt coated thing.
Potato chips.
Potato chips. Yes, yeah, you rightly explained because they're very common.
Those processed things.
Yes.
Cup soups.
Yes.
Oh yes, cup soups. Wow.
So-
that alone, the packet alone of that. Just a sidebar. I remember making a soup one time and tasted it and literally began sweating because my sodium. I was literally felt like I had took a salt and
In
just
your
put
mouth.
it on my tongue.
Yes.
Wow.
So this is the way most, I know this will be easiest way to decrease the salt content. And over a period of time, when your tongue get adjusted to this kind of threshold of the salt, you will feel better and you can go down with the salt content. You can't decrease the salt in one day, but it's better you can decrease slowly so that your tongue get adjusted for that.
So it's not like cut it off completely. It's best to decrease it.
So
because-
I'm just clearing it out that I'm not asking to completely cut short the salt. Otherwise, you may land up in a condition called hyponatremia, which is more dangerous than hypertension itself. Okay, and this advice is mainly for those people who are already on some kind of antihypertensive tablets, because they are more prone hyponatremia if they suddenly cut short salt or completely cuts the salt off your diet.
Wow. And so it's kind of a fine balance,
Yes.
almost a dance. How does water play into this?
See, water itself don't have got straightforward role in hypertension. This is the salt which plays the role. More the salt in the blood, it will try to bind that water inside your blood vessels, increase the blood pressure. That is the reason how this works. So decreasing water is not our target anyhow. Decreasing water is something which in some other disease like heart failure, etc., when the hypertension get complicated, you have got heart complications, heart failure. In that case, we use so-called water pills and all. But in a normal person, if you go with the JNC 8 guidelines, water pills are not the first medication to be started in hypertensives until unless it's complicated or decided in special scenarios by the doctor.
Okay. And it's wow, a lot of information to take in at one time, but the overall idea is lowering your salt intake and changing your diet
Yes.
overall to help with blood pressure.
Yes.
Dr.
That's
Kumar?
overall.
Yes.
Does high blood pressure only affect older people?
No, this is not the reason. So, blood pressure is something which can happen in any age group. Just make it clear, it can happen to anybody, even to the kids. It's now being reported that as the lifestyle is getting worse and worse, like people, especially they allow their kids for outside food, especially these fried chicken and all. Now kids are also exposed for hypertension, though this is more common in older people because their kidney is not able to handle the sodium load. That is fine, but it can happen in any age group.
Okay.
Irrespective of the sex, race, age, it can happen to anybody.
What is the dangers of not treating hypertension?
Okay, so hypertension, as I defined that the level is 140 by 90, but there are further classifications like stage 1 hypertension, stage 2 hypertension, and there is something called accelerated hypertension. So as we go up, the complications are more. If you don't treat your hypertension, you may land up in any of the complications, like majorly 4 organs are damaged in the body. It can affect any organ, but 4 are the most important. First is heart. It can lead to heart failure. It can lead to heart attacks. Then brain. It can affect your brain in the form of stroke or maybe in chronic terms vascular dementias. Then the kidney, like straightforward, it can lead to kidney failures in long term. And most specifically your eyes. People now developing more commonly hypertensive retinopathy. As the name clarifies, more the blood pressure because of hypertension, there is a retina changes which may lead finally for the vision loss in the patient.
Wow. I heard you started mentioning the kidney. Is that the main organ that would help us regulate our our blood pressure, salt in intake? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. So there are multiple organ system in the body which controls your blood pressure, but kidney is the most important because of there is a substance with the name of renin. We technically consider it as a hormone. So there's a substance called renin which is like controls secreted by the kidney, and it controls the level of the blood pressure in the body. So if in a normal person, suppose his blood pressure is increasing, in that case his mechanism will be like to counteract that high blood pressure by decreasing it, by dilating the blood vessels. And in a normal person, if you are losing water and your blood pressure is going down, in that case this RAAS system, or the renin angiotensin aldosterone system, is activated by the kidney, and ultimately it preserves sodium, leading to more of the water retention in the body, increasing the blood pressure.
Wow. According to, because Des and I was doing some research getting prepared for this, and about how many people did we estimate were affected by hypertension in the Cayman Islands?
They were saying like 30%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does that number sound about right to you, Dr. Kumar?
So you are rightly said it's 30%, okay, but this is not exactly the figure. Figure is much more than this, okay. So technically, hypertension, before hypertension, there is a term called pre-hypertension comes. Pre-hypertension is something in which patient didn't develop the hypertension till now, but there is a high chance that he will develop within, suppose, 6 months, or depending on his food habit and activity and all. Now, regarding the exact value of pre-hypertension, it is defined as systolic blood pressure from 120 to 139 and the diastolic blood pressure from 80 to 89. Anybody who is coming in this range is considered pre-hypertension. So if you say that 30% of the population is hypertensive at the moment, it's merely a number, but in reality, the system is more than 50%, which we consider that they are either pre-hypertensive or hypertensive, especially the adults, because kids has got a little bit better defense mechanism with respect to the adults. But nowadays, as I said, that kids are also getting involved because of the inappropriate food and lifestyle.
I got a very I want to say layman's question to ask you, Doc. In this age of everything being technical and people are able to take their blood pressure a lot quicker and things like that, what is the correct systolic? What's the terminology? You use the two terminologies for
Systolic and
systolic
diastolic.
and
Diastolic.
diastolic. Tell me what they are and what is the kind of the optimum range for people to be looking for, because our iWatches and on all these stuff, we can go online and you can check your blood pressure, these types of things. Tell me what would be kind of the numbers to be looking for and what these are.
So for this, we follow JNC 8, which is most acceptable all over the world. The normal blood pressure is defined as systolic blood pressure below 120. That means 119 and below is considered normal. And the diastolic blood pressure below 80 is normal blood pressure. Now, from 120 to 139 is pre-hypertension, as I just mentioned. 80 to 89 is again pre-hypertension, diastolic. And then it comes stage 1, stage 2, and the accelerated hypertension. Okay. So this range is not 100% applied because this is merely a study which we do, but we have to follow something. So we are following this criteria for pre-hypertension, hypertension, and normal people. Now, regarding the when to intervene, so it depends which patient you are dealing with. Suppose a Caribbean, that means his background is of hypertension. Like we have just discussed that Caribbean people has got high chances of hypertension, overweight, female, okay, smoker, okay. Now these 4 criteria are just telling me that sooner or later she will develop hypertension if presently even she is pre-hypertension. So in this case, patient and doctor can think and plan for her future plan of action. Otherwise, technically, blood pressure medications are started from stage 1 hypertension, that is 140/90 and above. But if he has got some predisposing factor, we can think the plan of action that we can start milder medication, but again, it depends, subjective thing is there. But technically, it should be started ever 140/90.
Okay. And we start introducing the idea of blood pressure medicine now. Is this something that they will be on lifetime, or it's for a period of time and you come back and check? How often should a person go and have their blood pressure checked to see what their range is, or if it has changed due to possibly what we're talking about, changing your diet,
exercise,
losing weight, all of these things, because I want my listeners to have a broader view, because we, and my West Indian people, I love y'all, but we eat bad, and we kind of do these things.
Eat bad and don't like to go to the doctor.
Yes, those are exactly, Des. That's exactly what we're talking about. How often should we do this to check and make sure we're on the right path?
See, for the listeners, my advice is, if your first blood pressure is high, you have got no symptoms like headache, dizziness, blurry vision, any kind of symptoms which is annoying you. If it's not there and your first reading is suppose 150/90, don't rush to a doctor. First, try to check that whether you have done your blood pressure correctly or not. So the best way of checking the blood pressure is, the blood pressure machine cuff should be at least covering 2/3 of your arm in which you are measuring it. Okay, you can use any arm, right or left, no problem, unless you have been diagnosed some vascular disease, etc. Fine, that you will be told in advance. So you know that you have got no medical issues, so you can cover 2/3 of your respective arm, and keep that blood pressure machine at the level of your heart. Either you can do it in the sitting posture or you can do it in lying posture, but technically it should be near your heart, at the level of your heart. Okay, then wait for 5 minutes. After applying the cuff, try to relax yourself. Okay, then start the button. This is the first reading. Suppose this first reading is 150/90. Now wait for 10 more minutes, try to relax, and take the second reading. Before that, one line I would like to add: you should not take anything which is caffeine containing, any salty containing thing which can increase your blood pressure for the temporary period of time. That may bias your present reading. So if there is a gap of suppose 6 hours of any caffeine containing, any salty drink, etc., you can take the way you can use this way to take the blood pressure. Now you take 2 blood pressure, make it an average. So 150 first reading, 152 second reading. So your average is divide by 2 plus and divide by 2, 151. So write down this level of blood pressure. Now, if your blood pressure is in pre-hypertension range, wait. Okay, and then just you can take any doctor's advice, no problem, no harm in that. But there is no urgency to run to doctor's clinic. Just try to modify your lifestyle. That's it. If it's stage 1, in that case, you should visit a doctor, and he and you both can make a plan of action that what should I do. In my practice, even for stage 1 blood pressure, if there is no background supportive of any complication, as I said in the beginning, like overweight, smoking, etc., is not there, I give one fair trial to the patient. Suppose you come to me with 142/91. I should not rush to start the medication. Okay. I should wait and watch. Now, if you're coming in accelerated hypertension, like 180/124, I'm bound to start the medication, because I cannot leave it like this.
Right. Okay? You're over what is acceptable.
Yes. So that acceptable limit is stage 2. So if the patient in stage 2 hypertension, that is the level is 160/100, then we start the medication immediately. In stage 1, we consider the patient's back history and everything, how is his lifestyle and all, and we give one fair trial to the patient if the patient is totally asymptomatic. Okay, so this is a little bit of gray area, but technically, as you said, that most of the patient think that if my blood pressure medication is started, it is not going to finish and I have to take it for lifelong. So they are technically wrong. Okay, I have seen patients who have come to me with stage 1 hypertension. So this is mostly happening in pre-hypertension or maximum stage 1. Stage 2 is something like where blood pressure is 160/100. In that case, generally medication not reversed because you have already crossed the red line.
Right.
So it's other way around, that you need the medication. That's why I'm going to start the medication. Don't think that I have started, so now you will be dependent. There is a term called dependency. People are afraid of this term. This is not a morphine or a barbiturate that you will get dependent on that. Okay. I am starting it. I am asking you, I am requesting you to take this medication to avoid complications. So that is the main purpose of starting the medication. Please, if doctor has advised you, please go to them regularly for regular visit, which is roughly 1 month in the beginning. Then we increase for 3 months, like two back-to-back readings are perfectly fine, patient doing good. So we call them to come once in 3 months, doing well. Then we ask every 6 months. 6 months is the last limit which we call every patient for regular visit. Plus, he will do his own monitoring at his home.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Kumar. Des, I think we should take a break now.
Yep. Let's go to a break.
All right, sounds good. You're listening to BAF, Your Health, Your Wealth. We're going to take a quick break and come right back and have another conversation with Dr. Kumar right here on Bobo 89.1 FM.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
So, Des, do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for me to welcome your colleague, Mr. Mike Adams of BAF Insurance, for our next segment, 3 Minutes with BAF, in which our sponsor, BAF Insurance, has 3 minutes to answer as many questions as they can about the company and what they can offer.
He only has 3 minutes?
That's right. Start the timer. Welcome, Mike, to Your Health, Your Wealth. Tell me about BAF Insurance, Cayman.
Firstly, Chuck, I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be on your show this morning to share with your listening audience a bit about BAF Insurance and some of what BAF has to offer. BAF Cayman is a proud member of the BAF Global Group, comprising insurance companies that have been serving the needs of our Caribbean generations since actually 1920. Our company has been active in the Cayman Islands since 2009, and our business continues to grow year over year, supported by our loyal and diverse client base that values market-leading rates, simple but extensive plan designs, and access to the best medical facilities when they need it most, whether at home or overseas.
Is BAF licensed and registered?
BAF is licensed by the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority as an A-class insurance company and specifically approved to provide health insurance by the Health Insurance Commission.
That's really great to know, Mr. Mike. If you could choose one thing that makes BAF stand out from the other insurance companies, what would that one thing be?
Although BAF offers many advantages over other insurance companies, whether you are an individual member or a member of your company's health insurance group, choosing BAF means putting your confidence in BAF to provide the highest quality health insurance plans with the lightest impact on your pockets. And we offer member support services that meet and exceed all your requirements. Our member services provided by our local Cayman-based team are always accessible to support you, from submitting your applications or daily member claims to billing queries. You can always count on one of our team members to assist you.
Okay, Mr. Mike, getting close to the end of our 3 minutes. In wrapping up, are your group plans only for companies? And how many people do I need to make a group?
BAF Insurance offers both individual and group plans. Our group plans require a minimum of 5 employees and base rates starting as low as 150 CI dollars. The additional plans that require 5 employees or more is what we refer to as the BAF MedSafe Cayman Health Plus and the BAF Value Plan Enhanced 250. And the BAF Prestige Plan, our most robust plan, requires a minimum of 10 employees to form a group.
How can I get in contact with the company?
Very easy. You can just contact our individual agents, and or 949-5089 is our main office line to our receptionist, who would then transfer you to one of our sales agents.
And what's the information for my tech-savvy people?
Certainly, BAF website is accessible at www.mybafsolutions.com.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Your Health, Your Wealth with Desiree and Chuck on Bobo Radio. We're here with you until 7:30 with a host of health tips and information, as well as a special guest to help you and your loved ones live healthier, happier lives. I am Desiree. I'll be with you every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance as a community service. Because at BAF, your health is our priority. Plus, the more you know about your health, the easier it will be for you to stay healthy. And a healthy community is what we're striving for. Right now, as we continue to highlight February as Heart Month, it's time to welcome back Lady K, your wellness coach, to talk a bit about understanding heart attacks.
You can check out Lady K on her Be Well, Be Healthy for Life YouTube channel. Her podcast, Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, is sponsored by BAF Global Group, and episodes are released weekly on the BAF Facebook page as well. Let's listen in as she talks about understanding heart attacks.
Today on Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, Lady K, your wellness coach, talks about heart attack and heart disease symptoms.
Have you ever wondered if you're having a heart attack? I know I have. Thankfully, I was wrong every time. But let's talk about the warning signs of a heart attack. Most of us know the main signs: the feeling of tightness or pressure or pain in the center of your chest, discomfort or pain in other areas of your upper body, such as your arms, your jaw, your back, or your neck, sudden shortness of breath, breaking out in a sweat, nausea, or feeling lightheaded. But did you know that the signs of a heart attack can be different for men than it is for women? Let's talk about that. But first, if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, remember to subscribe and share this with your friends. They'll thank you for it. And don't forget, hit the notification button so you'll always know when we have new episodes. What causes a heart attack? Heart attacks start with having an unhealthy heart, or simply put, heart disease. When the blood flow that brings oxygen to the heart is reduced or blocked because of a buildup of fat, cholesterol, or plaque, it results in heart disease, heart failure, and heart attacks. To understand the difference in spotting the signs of heart disease or a heart attack in men and women, we first have to understand the difference in the causes. Heart disease in men is most often due to their coronary arteries being blocked. These are the major arteries carrying blood and oxygen to the heart. On the other hand, women most often develop heart disease in the very small arteries that branch out from the coronary arteries. This explains why the symptoms of heart attack and heart disease look very different. So listen, Hollywood has given us only one view of a heart attack. You know the scene, right? The man is sitting in the restaurant. Suddenly, he grabs his chest. He gasps for air and falls, bringing everything crashing to the ground in such a dramatic fashion. Well, if it were a woman, it may be less dramatic. Women can experience heart attacks without the crushing chest pain. Sudden lightheadedness, fainting, dizziness, pain in the upper abdomen, extreme pressure or fatigue in the upper back can all be signs of heart disease or an imminent heart attack. Now, it's important to understand that the symptoms of an anxiety or a panic attack, as well as a condition called costochondritis, which is most commonly called chest wall inflammation, they can be very similar to those of a heart attack. Chest wall inflammation causes pain and tenderness on the breastbone, pain in your ribs, or pain that worsens with deep breathing or coughing. It's fairly common, but can be very frightening. If you get any of these conditions regularly, you may be able then to recognize the difference between those symptoms and that of a heart attack. But it's always better to be safe than sorry. So try to stay calm and call emergency services if you're unsure. There are other signs and symptoms that can indicate a heart disease. Swelling of the feet, constant fatigue that cannot be attributed to any known illness you have, sleep apnea, erectile dysfunction, persistent heartburn, unexplained pain in your back, your stomach, or your left shoulder, or shortness of breath and irregular heartbeats. All of these can be signs of heart disease. Do you know the phrase as serious as a heart attack? Well, heart disease and heart attacks are very serious, and taking care of your heart is of vital importance. So, get regular medical checkups and discuss any of these symptoms with your medical practitioner before your symptoms worsen. The life you save may just be your own.
Be Well, Be Healthy for Life is brought to you by BAF Global Group. Remember, always consult your doctor before starting any new health and wellness regimen. BAF Global Group offers life, health, and general insurance plus a full suite of financial solutions in the Bahamas, life insurance in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and affordable individual and group health insurance in the Cayman Islands. Visit us at mybafsolutions.com.
Thank you, Lady K, for that information.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
It's time to welcome back our guest, Dr. Kumar, a valuable member of the Total Health team. Thanks again for agreeing to come in this morning and share valuable information on high blood pressure that affects so much of our population here in the Cayman Islands. Dr. Kumar, welcome back to Your Health, Your Wealth.
Thank you.
In this segment, let's talk about how to prevent high blood pressure, and if you're living with it, everyday things we can do to control it or prevent it from getting worse, such as things that you would eliminate from your diet or something natural before you get to the stage where you're actually being medicated.
So this is a very commonly asked question by the patients to me that, doctor, how can I control my blood pressure without taking medication? So my advice to them is, if it has been decided by the doctor that you need to be put on medication, please go with the medication along with these advices, which I'm going to tell you. Because this advices is something that we cannot skip it. This has to be done with or without medication, depending on the level of blood pressure of the patient. So first, the diet modification, that you should decrease your carbs, decrease your saturated fats. So in an ideal diet, we consider roughly 40 to 45% of the diet should be carbs or a little bit below than this. Fat should be roughly around 30 to 35%. Protein should be roughly around 15 to 20%. And rest is like minerals and all other things. This is considered as an ideal diet, which is advised for all hypertension patients. Otherwise also this is healthy, but for hypertension especially, this is advised. Second is lowering the salt. As I told in the beginning, that it's better to decrease it below 2.5 grams of sodium content in the salt every day, if possible below that. Okay. And thirdly will be your relaxation. So relaxation is going to play a very important role in hypertension control without medication, because nowadays you can see that everybody is tensed out because of his job, his family life, his personal life, whatever it is. So relaxation means it can be divided into two parts. First part is normal sleep. So normally we ask people to sleep roughly around 6 to 8 hours. But again, this is not fixed. It depends on how much sleep is required by your body. So for example, I take roughly around 6 hours of sleep is good for me. It doesn't mean that I have to sleep 1 hour extra just because doctor told me. No, I said 6 to 8 of sleep is enough. So suppose you want to sleep for 9 hours, you can sleep, no problem. That sleep should be sound. How you define this sleep, sound sleep? In the morning, your body is not aching. You are feeling fresh in the morning, and your ideas are not jumbled up in the morning. So these are the indicators of adequate sleep one night, last night. You can just connect it with your day-to-day life. You can realize that this is the thing which is happening. Then comes the exercise. In exercise, we classify into rigorous exercise and moderate exercise. Moderate exercise needed is at least 150 minutes in a week. Rigorous is 75 minutes in a week. You can go above that, no problem, but at least this much is required. Then comes, other than this, The extra drinks which you take in a normal life, avoid salt in that. Extra drink means any drink which you take in a normal day-to-day life. Cut short your caffeine as much as possible, especially the black coffees and the dark these things, tea and all. Milk containing diet you can take, no problem in that, but warm milk is favorable because it relaxes your tummy also. So any kind of relaxation in your body will help your blood pressure to go down. Secondly, quit smoking, which is very important. It is the cause of other diseases also, but in hypertension it plays very common connections with them. And alcohol you can decrease. So just to compile it up, if you reduce 1 kilogram of your basal weight, you reduce roughly 1 to 2 millimeters of systolic and 1 to 2 millimeters of diastolic blood pressure. If you reduce your alcohol content, you quit smoking, you can drastically change or control your blood pressure, especially if you are in a level of pre-hypertension. So in pre-hypertension, as I said, no doctor generally start the medication, and you are totally on these kind of things. Plus in type 1 hypertension also, it has been seen that these measures are very effective.
So with that being said, one of the things I definitely want to talk to you about, Doc, is the idea of weight. Our West Indian population has always had issues with overweight.
Yes.
And of course, a large part of it is dietary, but some of it quite is historical.
Yes. Yes.
I'll use it in that connotation. How much should we, or when is a good time to start an idea of, let me take a look at my blood pressure? What's a good age range to kind of, we talked about, being stressful at work, we talked about, but is it acceptable to start from our early 20? What's a good idea, Doc?
So again, for blood pressure, there is no such age limit, but as it is connected with the obesity or the overweight, so the guideline says that anybody who is over 40 years of the age, irrespective of the sex, he should check his blood pressure regularly from this age if he has got no family history. If there is a family history, then we can prepone it from the age of 35. Like okay. Somebody's father has been some cardiac problem, or he's a smoker. He himself is a smoker. He himself is a obese guy. In that case, you have to prepone the age limit to start for the blood pressure checking from the age of 35. And if there is nothing, you can check it from after the age of 40. Overall, it can be checked from any age, but these are the things which we normally practice in our medical this thing. Otherwise, if you have got some kind of previous medical problems, like you have been diagnosed with some vascular problem in the childhood, then the doctor will advise at that time only to check your blood pressure from here. So plus some kidney disease. Suppose a kid come to me at the age of 7 with some kidney problem. In that case, I'm going to ask him, check your blood pressure from here only. Mm-hmm. Okay, but I'm talking about a general population who has got no medical illness as such. The figures are 35 and 40 years. 35 with previous history or overweight is there, or family history is there. And if there is nothing, you should check it from the age of 40 years.
From 40 years. So those are good and I think realistic numbers for our region to be very proactive in helping maintain a good balance of our blood pressure. We had a quick discussion about lifestyle changes in food. Are there any specific food that we can kind of gravitate to help lower our blood pressure? And also, cooking without salt, are there some alternatives to salt that we can take a look at?
Yeah, so it has been clear-cut proven that the people who are totally vegan means they are not consuming even the dairy products. No egg, no milk, meat is far away. Okay, mm-hmm. Their chances of developing blood pressure or hypertension is much less than a guy who is totally on these kind of food. So overall, there is no specific cuisine difference. You can have any cuisine. There is no as a change in the cuisine thing. But the vegan component of the diet improves your cholesterol, it improves chances of any complication related with heart or heart attacks, it improves your hypertension, it improves your overall general body physique. You can lose weight even if you go with a vegan diet. So you can see, if you study about this thing even on Google, you will come to know that the patches of the world who have got totally vegan food. There are a few patches in South Asia, there are a few patches in Europe, there are a few patches where people are totally dependent on the vegan food. Their incidence of blood pressure or hypertension is much, much lesser than the other people who are taking it. Unfortunately, in Caribbean, the cuisine itself is made up of a lot of non-vegetarian food and this thing. So where we can hit it that from the early childhood or the early age, we can train our kids to be dependent more on the vegan food. I'm not saying stop it. It's your taste, you can take it. But there should be some limit for that. There is no definitive limit. But what I practice in my family, that generally we take once or maybe twice non-vegetarian food. I'm a big non-vegetarian food lover. Still, I'm controlling myself and I'm putting the same thing in my kids, that I push them basically for the vegan diet. So all the time I prefer the vegan diet, except just for taste, one or twice in a month we consume it.
Right.
And again, as I told in the beginning, that should be mostly towards the lower animals like fishes. Chicken is fine, but beef, goat, lamb, they are like full of red meat.
Okay.
So you can think that if you consume one piece of beef, that is equivalent to almost one whole chicken.
What about pork?
Pork is again is a higher animal. So
It's
when
a
we say
higher
higher or lower animal, that means more content of the fat and other negative things. And I'm not saying non-vegetarian food is good at all. So I'm saying that comparatively, fishes are better with respect to the beef and pork.
It's understanding, I think, for our region, a better balance of it. Because right now, growing up, balance of food was not even a consideration at that time. It was like, okay, well, we're eating this, we're eating that, not a problem. It was just, okay, now let's add more greens into it. Let's add more color on the plate. Let's not specifically have meat every day of the week.
Yes.
3 times a day.
Pasta and cream sauces.
So, you realize that it's better to have an alternate time for these. Once a week, twice a week. That's the limitation of it. You don't have to stop it, but understand that what you're putting in will have a lasting effect on your body, in your health. And with that being said, as we get set to wrap up, I always like to ask that personal question. Dr. Kumar, what got you into the role of medicine? I know you're going to laugh, but I have to do it because I welcome your knowledge. I want to know what was your driving passion for this field?
See, I am basically a family of engineers and management guys. So I'm the only doctor in my whole family. But when I saw them in my childhood that they were busy with the machines, I don't know from where I get an interest. And somebody told me one day that human body is the most complicated machine, roughly, which is known to mankind. So that made me interested that if this is the most complicated machine, I will try to fix it. I really like this job because I don't know, it comes from my heart. So I like it. I haven't even ever thought about changing my profession. Somebody thinks, it had never hit my brain. So whenever I woke up in the morning, yes, man, today I will see this case, probably I will get something. And I've got a habit of writing it, everything. So even if today I get some rare case something, I publish it, I'm a good medical,
Researcher,
writer. Not exactly researcher, ma'am. Researcher is something like a broader term.
Okay.
So I was a researcher back in India, but here the things are a little bit less. Population is less. So doing research is a little bit difficult here because we need population boys for that and funding and whatever things. But again, reporting a thing, reporting a scientific literature is one of the things which is my second passion. First passion is looking patients, and second is my medical literature.
Right.
So this is my interest.
Of course. Wow. Doc, thank you so much for stopping by here today. We were talking with Dr. and I'm going to try to pronounce your name, Rajnesh
Kumar. Yes.
Dr. Kumar. He's a member of the Total Health team on Island here. And Des, we're blessed by having him stop by here today.
Where is Total Health located?
It's on the 7 Mile corridor in Grand Pavilion. The building is Grand Pavilion, so it's in the West Bay Road on the West
All right.
Bay Road.
Is there a phone number that someone can call to make an appointment to come in and see you?
Yeah. There's a front desk call number which is active 24/7 333-2222.
Excellent. And as I said, Dr. Kumar, thank you so much for stopping by here. It's been a pleasure to have this conversation with you.
It has.
Thank you very much.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your health, your wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health or priority.
And we are back. Desiree, do you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for me to welcome back your colleague, Mike Adams of BAF Insurance, once again for 3 minutes with BAF. How soon after I buy my health insurance policy does my coverage kick in? Is it right away or do I have to wait?
Once the application is submitted to BAF, the application is sent to our underwriter for review and approval. This process normally takes roughly 5 days. And policies that are approved prior to the 15th of the month would go in effect on the 1st of the current month. If the application was approved after the 15th, the policy would then go in effect the 1st of the following month.
And Mr. Mike, suppose I get sick on a weekend and for some reason I need approval for something like medical evacuation to the U.S. What happens?
Providing you need to see or visit a medical provider over the weekend, you would certainly provide the BAF ID card that the individual has. And on the reverse side, it has the contacts for BAF. All of the hospitals have our 24/7 on-call telephone numbers, as well as if we may have to airlift someone out of Cayman to, say, Florida. All of the hospitals have the 24/7 contacts for BAF.
Thank you so much for the information.
Again, my name is Mike Adam. 949-5089 is our main office line. BAF website, www.mybafsolutions.com.
Well, that's our show. Lady K gave us some tips on understanding both high blood pressure and heart attacks. So let's take those to heart and do our best to prevent both. Remember to check out Lady K's videos on the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life channel on YouTube. We also heard from our guest, Dr. Rajnesh Kumar of Total Health. And once again, thank you, Total Health, for working with us to bring this valuable information to our community. Total Health provides comprehensive and personalized health care under one roof right here in the Cayman Islands. Until next week, my name is Desiree.
And I'm Chuck Taylor.
Encouraging you to start now to live a healthier, happier life.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your health, your wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health or priority.